Hey there, today at Nomads Nation we're doing a little bit of a versus. We're putting up the Evergoods CAP2, an iconic tech pouch in this community, versus the new guy. This is the Honey Badger from Arterra. Will it take the crown? Will Evergoods retain the throne? Today we're gonna find out. Fight! Also should be noted that here at Nomads Nation, we have hundreds of bags and tech pouches in line to be reviewed. So we do offer an expedited package, which allows brands to skip that line, of which Arterra did pay for. But you will see throughout this review that has absolutely zero effect on our review and what we say, because our whole thing is we gotta keep it real. Arterra just wanted to skip the line to get some content out faster. We respect that, but there can only be one winner, and we're gonna pick which one. Also, one final note, if you're thinking about picking up either of these tech pouches, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes with the brands that we review. So if you wanna get the best price and access the discount codes, that's where you can do so. Head to head, let's go. Let's start with the differences of the Arterra Honey Badger versus the Evergoods CAP2. Some quick caveats. I only have the Evergoods CAP2 in X-Pack, which is a limited edition version, and it's not completely 100% fair, but also it is, because the Arterra also comes in Eco Pack. It's actually the EPLX 200. So both have a regular version and both have a premium version, but the spirit of both tech pouches, we'll get the gist, but do take that caveat into consideration. Let me run you through each pouch individually, starting with Evergoods. The CAP2 is an absolute beast of a self-standing, like desk caddy tech pouch. There's different kinds of tech pouches out there. Some are thin, some are bulky, some self-stand, some don't. The self-standing ones though, I commonly refer to them as like desk caddies. And Evergoods took the market by storm when they released this desk caddy, because this design is just freaking brilliant. So basically you can see that you have the top half right here and it opens up, therefore creating a foundation at the bottom that helps itself stand better. You can see the way that it is designed. We have a single pocket here with a key leash. And then on the flip side, you have this central divider that has a bit of organization in it. And this divider in fact floats, so it can go on one side or the other. And then you got pockets around the entire circumference, including 2 pockets on the back here. And then we have a couple of sleeves in the front that have been pretty useless in my experience. I have a lot of experience with this tech pouch. One of my all-time favorites. It used to be my go-to. I'm not saying that it's not great anymore because it switched being my go-to. I am just ADHD as fuck when it comes to my tech pouches. There's just so many cool ones and I love to switch them in and out. If I had a gun to my head and I had to pick one for the rest of my life, this could be it. But also there's some things that I don't like about it. Although it's got just this brilliant design, it is very bulky. It's like the size of an American football, basically. And you just have this like brick inside your backpack. And I don't know, I don't always carry that much stuff, so it feels a little larger than I need. But it's also just safe to say in the world of tech pouches, this is probably considered the GOAT. And now for our challenger, Le Honey Badger. This one is a very similar situation, but we have a magnetic clasp in the front, which means you can unzip the top lid and kind of keep it unzipped, because the magnetic clasp just gives you a second way to secure the pouch. Because you also have magnets on the back end here, which means that when you close the tech pouch, these magnets combine, giving you a very flush magnety experience, which then helps itself stand in its own way. And then that's further reinforced by this fabric flap right here of the original magnet. It kind of just, if it gets pushed this way, it helps to push back. They're actually both very brilliantly designed to self-stand in their own ways. And how well they self-stand will depend on kind of what you're looking for and how you like to pack the tech pouch out. We've got a zippered back pocket here, pen loop, a couple Darlington mesh pockets, 5 in total, and a sleeve right there. Plus on top of it, you have this front zip pocket, which reveals this, which allows you to wear the pouch as a sling, which I am not a big fan of. I like having the versatility, don't get me wrong. Like you might just be in a pinch, need to wear this, but let me just show you what I mean. I hate to be judgy, but I just don't think it looks good. It's so bulky as a sling. At the end of the day, guys, Arterra is not saying this is the world's best sling. They're just throwing this in here to be like, hey, in case it needs to be worn this way, we got your back as well. But I don't think it should be a big selling point of this tech pouch, because it's just kind of a bulky bag to wear as a sling. Like even Arterra has got some great slings themselves. We actually tested out the Falcon Pro. So if you're interested in a sling from Arterra, Falcon Pro, check it out. So that should sort of, in theory, explain the differences of each. Sig, did I leave any stones unturned? The stones have been turned. Okay, that's good.
That's lash points or anything?
Oh, good point. On the CAP2, we got a handle slash lash point at the top with 2 side lash points, and then also the same exact configuration on the bottom. And then with the Arterra Honey Badger, you got a couple of lash points here, a couple on the sides, and a couple on the back as well. Let's move on to the next section and talk about the materials of both tech pouches. Now, this is actually kind of a tough section because we only have one version of each bag, and Evergoods is known to always do limited versions. But basically, both brands have one signature version and one premium version. For Evergoods right now, the signature version is their standard nylon, which I've tested out before. Our ex-media manager, Margaret, she had it in I think a blue nylon. And then you can also upgrade to the X-Pack version as well. And for the Honey Badger, this is using their 840D micro ballistic nylon. That is a great question. I assume it's just the size of the ballistic. If you look at these ballistics, they're quite micro. It's just a finer ballistic nylon weave. But just like Evergoods, Arterra does offer a premium version, which comes in EcoPack EPLX 200, which is definitely a little bit more bag nerdy, I think, than X-Pack. X-Pack is like, it used to be the EcoPack. You know, like if you knew X-Pack, it's like, dude, you were in. But now, I think that, you know, X-Pack is pretty mainstream, and a lot of people are starting to find things they don't like about it, and they're moving over to Team Challenge Sailcloth, who makes EcoPack. And that's in line with what I see with our friends over at Arterra. And they definitely seem like they're in the community in the sense that they're seeing what people like and where the trends are going. But really the story here is that both bags are using high quality materials across the board. YKK zippers on both. Both are offering high quality, beautiful linings depending on which version you get. So as much as everyone hates a tie, it has to be a tie for this section. Both signature versions are great. Both premium versions are elite. I don't think your choice of materials should dictate which one you buy. Now, one thing that should dictate it though is how well it self-stands. Let's do self-standing chapter 1. The Honey Badger kind of self-stands a little bit better. You can see the Evergoods actually leans a little bit. Versus the Honey Badger, the foundation's a little bit stronger, which is interesting because the base of the Honey Badger is actually significantly thinner than the base of the Evergoods CAP2, but the CAP2 just has a little bit more of a circular kind of a finish. Just kind of comes on a little bit of a like circular angle there. Versus the Honey Badger, it's flat. And then also, the top lid of the CAP2 is heavy. So therefore, it's kind of pushing it on this angle a little bit, where the lid on the Honey Badger is lighter, and it actually self-stands significantly better because of that. So for empty self-standing, Honey Badger wins. Now let's pack both bags out. Now these are the things that I genuinely use currently in my tech pouch, which, you know, shameless self-promotion. I'm using the Firo Tech Book, which is from my brand Firo, which will be launching very soon. These are all the things that I currently use in my tech book, which is phone charger, wired headphones, tape measure, multi-tool, a couple of pens, vitamin C, and a backup mask. As you can tell, I don't carry a lot of tech stuff, so just throw some other things in there, like some meds, battery, gum, and a protein bar. Packing out the CAP2 from Evergoods. You can see the bulkier things fit in the sleeves in the back. I've always thought that the floating divider is actually a little overrated, just because like it usually gets pushed in one direction or another depending on what you pack in there. This section, gonna throw my pens, tape measure, multi-tool, the zippered pocket. We're gonna throw the flat items, phone charger here, and then, you know, I'll put my headphones in case I gotta take an emergency call there, Tylenol, and my gum. And that is a fully packed out CAP2. Will it close? It absolutely will. So the gist of the CAP2 is going to be the fact that it just handles more stuff. It's much bigger. And that's why I think for me, I might give the edge to the Honey Badger just because I carry less stuff. Now we're gonna kind of tie in the self-standing test part 2 into this. And you can see the Evergoods CAP2 self-stands significantly better when it's fully packed out and open. You just need a little bit of a base, a little bit of weight in there, and then it's gonna be able to self-stand so well that it can be dropped. The Honey Badger, in comparison, I don't think it's gonna be able to be dropped. Actually, you know what? There's only one way to find out. Let's pack it out. So, switching from one to the other. Protein bar, nicotine gum, put my charger in there, and you can see the Honey Badger is basically coming in at like half the size. Tape measure, Tylenol, multi-tool, my pens can fit in this section here, along with my wired headphones. And before you ask, why do you have wired headphones? Phone calls. case you gotta take a phone call and it's a really important call, you pop your wired headphones in, the microphone's right there, it can't be beat. Back sleeve, I'll throw my phone charger, mask, vitamin C in there, and we're gonna get all this to fit. Will it close though, is the question. That's the CAP2, that's everything. So just a lot tighter in our Honey Badger, but oh yeah, we're gonna close this, no problemo. Just tighter squeeze. I'd say you get about 25% more capacity with the CAP2. Honey Badger, it's packing right now. There's a lot in there. And then for the self-standing, you can see pretty well, but we're more inclined to get a little bit of leanage now. Put that down. Yeah, I think that when it's packed out, it still self-stands really well, but you're getting now more tippage happening, and that's just gonna be depending on how you pack it out, right? So I think the moral of the story is that both pack out really well, both self-stand really well when empty, or let's say lightly packed or fully packed. It's gonna be hard to pick a winner, to be honest. So my last scores for pack out, that's gonna be a wash, just depends on how you like to pack out your tech pouch. But for self-standing, I think that the Evergoods CAP2 clearly wins when it's fully decked out and open. Point for Evergoods there. Next up, value. I hate a tie, but like this is gonna be a tie as well because they're so similarly priced. Right now, the Arterra is coming in around 10 USD cheaper than the CAP2 is coming in at least for the signature versions of both. And while that should be like point for Arterra, it's only 10 bucks, and the 10 years that Evergoods has been around for just makes me feel a little bit more comfortable maybe giving them an extra 10 bucks. So, I hate to do a tie, but I have to do a tie there as well. I didn't want to have to do this, but we're doing it. New chapter, Aaron's pick. And this is really tough because based on profile alone, I like the size of the Honey Badger. And the organization is actually quite nice for everything that I carry on a day-to-day basis. And it just feels compact. And it just really is nice. But having said that, I'm going to personally pick the Evergoods CAP2 just because, man, it's hard to beat the reigning champ. The presentation just looks cleaner to me, a little bit more modern, professional. It's just something that I look inside and gives me a little bit of joy every time I see it. Obviously, maybe I'm a little bit skewed because of the gold X-Pack interior, but it's a hard choice because the Honey Badger really impressed me. And honestly, there's no winning in this, guys. It's just about which one best suits your needs. But if you're not quite sold that the Honey Badger nor the CAP2 is for you, or you just want to get a better idea of what's in the market, you should definitely check out these videos here. One of which is our most recent roundup for my favorite tech pouches of all time. And the other is our leaderboard rankings video where the members of the Nomads Nation team let you know what their favorite tech pouches are. And also, this is one of our first Versus videos in a while. So if you enjoyed this content and you're a regular watcher of our channel, be sure to let us know in the comments below if you want more. If you got any questions, be sure to let me know in the comments below. We'll catch you guys next time.